And welcome friends. In this particular module, we will get introduced with the concept of waste to energy. As a part of this particular module, we will discuss the definition and scope of the activities, guidelines given by the Planning Commission, importance of energy recovery from municipal solid waste, process of waste to energy, various forms of energy recovery systems, and the benefits and the parameters that are affecting the energy recovery. As you learn the content, you will be able to explain the process of waste to energy, state available design alternatives for energy recovery systems, and also state benefits and parameters affecting energy recovery. We have been discussing about the flow chart as well as especially separation, processing and transformation element. So we know through certain processing facility, we are recovering the energy rich material, and that energy rich material is used in order to have certain useful product like refuse derived fuel, or otherwise these energy rich materials are being transformed into energy by making use of these thermal processing techniques. We also know that process of generating this energy in the form of heat or electricity is to be preferred only after following the elements of waste management hierarchy such as reduction, reuse and recycling. Let's try to understand the meaning associated with this energy recovery from municipal solid waste. The concept as such tells us the conversion of non-recyclable energy-rich waste components into usable heat, electricity or fuel by making use of processes such as thermochemical conversion, which is the process to produce the heat energy or fuel, oil or gas, which in turn can be used to generate the energy, or otherwise certain enzymatic decomposition of the organic matter to generate methane like gas through these biochemical conversions. Ultimately, this methane is to be used in order to produce the electricity. So, the processes thermochemical conversion or this particular biochemical conversion are commonly called as waste to energy. There are certain guidelines as far as the provisions of Municipal Solid Waste Rule 2016 are concerned. It mandates to give the preference to waste to energy processes, including RDF for combustible fraction of the waste or supply as feedstock to solid waste power plants and cement kilns. Also, it tells that the industrial units which are located within 100 km from these RDF or waste to energy plants should replace at least 5% of their fuel consumption by making use of RDF. Also, the non-recyclable waste which is having the calorific value more than 1500 kilocalorie per kilogram should not be disposed in the landfills. In order to encourage the production of the energy from the waste components, the state pollution control boards are expected to examine the applications for setting up the waste to energy facilities to the tune of 5 metric ton per day and grant the permission for such facilities within 60 days. Though the solid waste 2016 rules encourage the facility of the waste to energy, certain guidelines constituted by the planning of the commission in 2014 gives the realistic picture associated with the waste to energy, and the guidelines mentioned by them are certain essential precautions to follow. According to this particular planning commission, waste to energy is very expensive option for managing the municipal solid waste, and it attracts the skilled staff as well as adoption of high level technologies. Though it has got significant potential to provide the energy, it also has the potential to cause the significant environmental impact through the emission of fly ash, which is likely to be generated and which is getting generated through the combustion of the portion of the solid waste as fuel. Hence, certain guidelines are given by this particular planning commission, such as there is a necessity to evaluate the appropriateness of waste to energy plant for the community. Also, the municipal authority must select a suitable concessionaire through a competitive bidding for a long term not below the 20 years. Also, the applicant who is willing to provide such waste to energy services must be a developer or technology provider who will actually construct, operate and maintain the plant over the period of these 20 years. It also tells that the developer must have a critical staffing on the board on full-time basis or some contractual faculty on long-term basis. The developer must be experienced one and he must have executed, operated, maintained at least one such waste to energy plant. We have to consider the provisions of the Municipal Solid Waste Rules 2016. As well, we have to take into account the precautionary measures as given by the Planning Commission. We must also take into account the importance of this particular energy recovery from municipal solid waste. This importance can be understood through these various points. As we experience, the energy prices are continuously rising. Through this particular energy recovery, we can also go for recovery of the metals. We get the renewable incentives. The technology, if properly followed, can be net greenhouse gases reducer. As the raw material is obtained locally, there is a long-term price stability. As well, through various material recovery facilities, we can establish the control over the waste stream. Hence, this waste to energy could be a permanent source. However, all these particular waste to energy projects cannot be taken as totally clean as well as green because of the emissions and even the emissions caused because of the hauling induced for the transportation of the materials. But these projects can reduce the use of the landfills. These waste to energy projects can reduce the waste value approximately by 90%, which results in the lesser requirement of landfill-like facility. Even these waste to energy projects produce certain byproducts which have multiple applications and can fetch a good market value. These facilities, if properly run, are greenhouse gas reducers. We can understand the process as such. Schematically, it is presented with this picture. The waste is being received, it is charged into this waste pit. It is lifted up through that crane. It is fed through the hoppers into the furnace. The heat generated is used in order to generate the steam through the boilers. The steam is used to run the turbines and hence to generate the electricity. Certain particulate and the gases that are emitted are cleaned through air pollution control equipment such as scrubbers, electrostatic precipitators before letting them out through stacks in the atmosphere. Also, the waste that is generated in the form of ash, in the form of fly ash, which is collected through this particular electrostatic precipitator, is also treated and can be used for conversion of certain building blocks, or it can be disposed into the landfills and can also be used as cover material. In order to understand the extent of these particular processes, we can refer to some such data. Great Britain burns around the 90% of its generated solid waste in the incinerators as compared to 13% in United States and 8% in Canada. Also, the developed countries like Sweden, Norway and United States have successfully run waste to energy plants which are employing the waste, which are having the energy content to the tune of 1900 to 3800 kilocalorie per kg. As compared to these energy values, the waste obtained in India has calorific value of 1400 to 2100 kilocalorie per kg. In order to have the self-sustaining combustion, waste must have 1800 kilocalorie per kg. So that way, here the portion of the wealth that is created in India is not conducive to run such kind of processes. Hence, in light of MSW 2016, the validity of the guidelines given by the Planning Commission is worth considering. There are kind of the energy recovery systems depending on the kind of turbine employed. So, there could be certain steam turbines where the steam is produced in a boiler by burning this solid waste and used to drive the steam turbine, which drives an electrical generator to produce the electricity. There could be gas turbines which are similar to the jet engine and consist of the compressors to increase the density of the gas air mixture. A combustor and turbine connected to an electrical generator to convert the hot combustion gases to mechanical energy. The processes are schematically presented in these particular sketches. There can be internal combustion engines which are using the pistons and crankshafts which are alternative to these gas turbines, and accordingly such engines can be used in order to generate this electricity. Variety of combinations using the cogeneration with gas turbine, steam turbine and internal combustion engine can also be one of the energy recovery systems where the generation of both thermal as well as electrical power is possible. Such systems are used widely in industry to generate electricity and the process or building heat at the same time. Here, this particular generation is expected to be used on the site itself could be one of the limitations as far as this energy recovery system is concerned. There are many benefits associated with the energy recovery. Firstly, there is a recovery of the valuable resources which otherwise could have been simply disposed in the landfills. This is generating one more renewable source of the energy. There is a reduction of the carbon emissions as well as certain methane emissions. The total quantity of the waste is reduced to over 90% depending on the kind of the technology that we adopt as well as the composition of the waste. There will be considerable reduction in the demand of the land because now we are expected to deal with hardly 10% of the residue. Also, the cost associated with the transportation of the waste to far away landfill sites also get reduced proportionately. So the factors associated with the emissions, reducing the waste to 90%, reducing the land requirement, reducing the transportation requirements will have the net effect of reduction in environmental pollution. According to the data that is published in 2013-14, over the world, the 44% of the energy recovery facilities are using combustion facilities. Whereas the other facilities like anaerobic digestion are 4%, gasifiers 11%, and rest of the facilities can be seen here. So, though there are various technologies, still waste to energy is not accepted as full-fledged technology for the Indian circumstances. However, one has to understand the concept of energy recovery and its impact on the municipal solid waste management practices. Also, there are certain upcoming technologies like hydrothermal carbonization. So this is fast track technology. Also, there is one more technology like dendro liquid energy, which is developed in Germany, and this is said to be 4 times more efficient than anaerobic digestion. We have to take into account the various parameters that are affecting the waste to energy. First of all, we have to take into account the quantity of the waste. On an average, 100 metric tons per day is required to generate 1 megawatt of the power, and each megawatt of such coal power stations capacity can supply around 650 average homes. There is a considerable impact of certain physical parameters in terms of size. Smaller the particles, faster will be the reactions. Also, the moisture content, especially associated with the initial energy consumptions, as well even their interference with anaerobic digestion processes associated with the bacterial activities. Also, the volatile solid content, which is again associated with this particular bacterial activity, which should be more than 40%. The fixed carbon content should be less than 15%. Inert should be less than 35%. The calorific value, energy value should be more than 1800 kilocalorie per kg. The C/N ratio is important parameter for anaerobic digestions, as the bacterial community use up carbon 25 to 30 times faster than nitrogen. More about this while discussing about the anaerobic digestions. One also take into account the toxicity, which is attracting certain specific treatment before going for its usage in energy recovery systems. We would also take into account some of the facts that are associated with the waste to energy plants that were constructed through this particular study. Since 1987, 15 waste to energy plants have been set up across the country. However, 7 of these plants have been shut down within very short time. During February 19, there were 40 odd waste to energy plants at various stages of the construction. Today, there are very few waste to energy plants which are active and producing the energy. However, such plants are producing the power at the cost of rupees 7 per unit. This cost is more than 3 to 5 rupees as offered by other options. Hence, one must take into account the reality associated with the waste to energy plants, and one must establish very strict control on these particular parameters before going for design of such waste to energy plants. So thank you for your attention, friends. I hope the basic concepts that we try to discuss about the waste to energy plants are well understood. As we move ahead, we will get acquainted with the various thermal processing techniques. So bye till then, I wish you very happy learning. Thank you.